Welcome back to Brandon Sports, everybody. Hope you have an amazing day. I'm here to give you guys my SmackDown review for January 23rd, 2026. Before we get into the review, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe button to the channel to continue to help the channel grow. Share with your friends and family. Now, my overall thoughts about the show is this show was very, very long this week. It was 3 hours that I could barely get through. It was very, very tiring watching the show, especially that second hour was very, very brutal. The third hour was okay because it's basically like almost 1.5 matches in it, but Damian Priest and Trick Williams main event at SmackDown tonight, but I thought that this show was just not good. There's no storylines that's building up in the show at all to me. Again, Saturday's main event is tomorrow, and then you have the Royal Rumble, which is the week after, but it just doesn't feel like it's Royal Rumble season. It feels like it's a lackluster Royal Rumble. I don't know what it is about the promotion this year about the Royal Rumble. People are barely getting in. Only like the bigger stars like Cody Rhodes has entered the Royal Rumble, Rhea Ripley on the SmackDown side, and Io Sky and everybody else. So it just seems like it's just a boring SmackDown this week. The Royal Rumble build has not been good at all. This year creatively has been bad, just like last year in 2024. And again, I just feel like we just need a better product. Now, one thing I do come up here and criticize, because I love doing these videos and coming to you guys and give you guys my opinion, is that we just need more creatively on that side, the booking, building new superstars. Once you do that, the in-ring product is okay. It needs a little bit more selling, but other than that, it's okay. It's just the storylines in the creative has been stale for the past year, almost year. Ever since they came out of WrestleMania 40 with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, and that year, it just seems like it's been down ever since basically The Rock left, Roman Reigns left. There has really been nothing that this company has been building towards, especially the Royal Rumble. It's supposed to be Royal Rumble season. We get to WrestleMania, it's supposed to actually be excited for the build, and now what's going on? But again, this show was very, very long to get through. The first hour was okay. The second hour was brutal. The third hour was decent. But at the end, it was just so tiring watching the show. Again, I don't understand why USA Network is playing for 3 hours of SmackDown when they can't even book for 2 hours on Raw. 2.5 hours on Raw. And to me, the USA Network doing these 3-hour SmackDowns, they should go back to the 2012, 13, 14, 15, and so forth of those shows being 3 hours. When those Monday Night Raws were 3 hours for almost 12 years, it was too much. Even Triple H on Stone Cold's podcast, this was over a decade ago, saying that it's hard to book a 3-hour show. It's very, very hard to do that. So if you know it's hard to book a 3-hour show, and you said this 10 years ago, why is it still prevalent now that you are booking 3-hour shows that's hard to book? SmackDown should be at least 2.5 hours like it is on Netflix. I know they don't want to end at a half an hour, but it should be 2 hours or that's it. At this point, there's really no point of this show being 3 hours. It's just way too long with the creative malpractice that's going on within this show. But we're going to break it down from segment by segment again. This show is very, very long to get through. So we start the show off and immediately is a red flag. The red flag is they started the show this week with no pyro. I hope that they would change it, give us a better presentation, but again, they did not. They only did the pyro because they were in Ireland, they were overseas. Now that they're still basically in Canada, they didn't give you any pyro. All they gave was this typical walkthrough and that's it. What happened to the theme song? Where is the entertainment presentation? I just don't understand what this company just doesn't get it. Like Lee Fitting, whoever's producing this, just doesn't get it. I don't understand where is the presentation when it comes to SmackDown. Or Raw too. Especially being on Netflix, you would think Netflix will want an intro, will want a pyro, will want the show to be presented very, very well. And these shows are not presented entertainment-wise well at all. It's just they dull. These guys are walking in, welcome to commentary, we're at the commentary booth, or somebody opens the show. Where's the pyro? I want to feel good when I turn these shows on and sit here and after the shows I could do my review, say, man, the presentation of WWE has always been great, but the sets are the same. Why have a brand split when the sets are the same? And the fact that Triple H is the head of creative and he's been there for so long in the company, and he was there during the, that's why it frustrates me. He was there during the Attitude Era. He was there during all these eras where the presentation value and the pyro and everything else that was going on, he was there. So it's like, do you not have the proper allowance to do things to go back to how they were? I mean, you got rid of the Universal title and went back to the World Heavyweight title. You brought back the World Tag Team title instead of the Raw Tag Team titles. You put the IC title back on Raw just like it was in 2002. If you guys go back and watch Monday Night Raw from 2002, 3, 4, 5, what was it? It was the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw, Intercontinental Championship on Raw, the World Tag Team Championships on Raw, the Women's Championship on Raw. Then SmackDown was what? The WWE Championship was on SmackDown because the Royal Heavyweight Championship at that point, when it was given to Triple H, was seen as the bigger championship. The WWE Championship was on SmackDown. Again, I like it on SmackDown. The United States Championship was on SmackDown. The WWE Tag Championships were on SmackDown. Look at the history repeating itself. But now when we get to the history and we look at it, why can't we just have intro? We can't give the pyro. Certain things need to be done a certain way. The booking, the creative. It's just not being done how it was back in the day. Listen, I understand it's not the Attitude Era no more and people harp on it. I get it. But at this time, it's like, man, give us something close. You don't have to give us the edginess if you can't do it because of sponsorships and you guys are just afraid to do it. But man, I need something more than a dull product opening the show. Different stage designs, different sets. You guys are really that cheap to save money that you guys can't give us different sets. It's a pay-per-view, WrestleMania. Hopefully you guys don't repeat the same set that you're getting in Vegas, the Royal Rumble. All these sets look the same. So now when you buy the video game, all you gotta do is pick the Royal Rumble and the SummerSlam and everything else looks the same. Everything looks exactly the same. It needs a different feel. Raw needs to look different. SmackDown should look different. The Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania should all look different. Money in the Bank. All these sets are the same. You go to Saudi Arabia, it's the same thing. We need different. Stop being lazy on the creative side and be more creative when it comes to production value. We get it. WWE has the best production out of anybody. But instead of that, you guys continuously give us lame sets, no booking, no storylines. What's the point of actually watching it? I rambled long enough. We're going to get into the show now. I just wanted to give you guys a little monologue before we get into the breakdown of the show. So SmackDown opens up with commentary. Welcome to the show. We get Cody Rhodes, Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, Last Legend, Julia, Kiana James, the MFTs, and Drew McIntyre arriving to the arena. The first person out, we're live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So the first person obviously to come out will be Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn music hits. He makes his way down to the ring to a loud ovation from the fans. Sami then grabs a mic and starts off by welcoming everybody in French. Sami then says, "It feels good to be home." Sami then says, "Tomorrow's momentum is a strange thing in WWE, but he feels he has all the momentum." Sami then says, "Tomorrow night, he has a chance in Montreal to become the #1 contender." Trick Williams' music and then interrupts. He makes his way down to the ring. Trick says they are not on the same level. Trick then says he is Mr. 250 and Sami is Mr. Too Many Chances. Trick then says, "Let's talk about it." Trick then tells Sami his problem is that he cannot get the job done. Trick then says the last time Sami had a chance for a title in Montreal, he didn't get the job done. Which was, again, if you guys want to go back in history, it was Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship at the time. And Roman Reigns beat Sami Zayn at the Elimination Chamber, which was in Montreal again. Trick then says that there's difference between them. Trick then says he gets the job done. Trick then says he is here to be WWE champion and he will say it to Sami's face in his city. Sami then looks at Trick and says a few things are true. Sami then says he did lose a title match in his city. Sami then says it was a bitter pill to swallow. Then he says you might be a future champion. Sami then says the thing Trick said that was right is that they are not on the same level. He then goes on to say you need to remember when you step in the ring you are dealing with the best of the best. Sami then says you have all the potential. Sami then says when you reach your potential, if you are lucky, you will be half as good as he is. Which again, Sami Zayn is great in the ring. I just get tired of the character, which we'll get to in a minute. Sami then says if you think he is wrong, you could do something about it right now. Trick then says no. Trick then says he has other things on his mind. Trick then says he has a match against Damian Priest in the main event. Then he says they can take care of business tomorrow, which is the Fatal 4-Way match tomorrow. Damian Priest's music then hits and makes his way down to the ring. Priest tells Trick, he said last week he does a lot of talking. Priest then says you have stepped to everybody and you talk to them. Priest then says he came to your face last week and you didn't say anything. Priest then says he believes Trick is afraid of him. Priest then says you think if you say the wrong thing, he will drop your ass where you stand. Damian Priest then says ask Trick if he is afraid of him. Priest then says go ahead and say something. Priest then says if you don't want to say anything, you can do something. Trick then says they need to mind their own business with grown folks talking because the crowd is starting to chant. Trick then asks Damian if he is afraid of him. He then says, do you think he doesn't know what to say or when to pop off? Trick then punches Sami Zayn in the face. Priest then blocks a punch from Trick Williams. Priest punches Trick. Sami Zayn then starts to punch Trick Williams. But after that, Damian Priest grabs Sami Zayn and throws him out of the corner. They're basically fighting to basically beat up Trick Williams. After that, Trick Williams pushes Damian Priest into Sami Zayn. They both fall over. Trick Williams gets out of the ring and then Sami Zayn and Damian Priest are arguing. My overall thoughts about that segment was, again, Sami Zayn talked for a little bit. Trick Williams came out, then Damian Priest. It was a good back and forth promo. Again, they're doing this because of the momentum. And who's going to have the momentum? This is what Vince McMahon in that era used to do, the whole momentum game. But we all see it through it. The same thing with Trick Williams versus Damian Priest in the main event. We see what they're doing. That match is basically going to be at least 1/4 of what they're going to do tomorrow night, basically on Saturday. But again, this segment really wasn't needed. Again, it was just for Sami Zayn to get in front of the cameras. Again, I'm tired of the whole Sami Zayn wants another shot act. I'm tired of it. I think that's why he got booed out in Chicago when he went up against John Cena for the US Open Challenge. He went up against John Cena. That's what I thought. It was just like, man, people were sick of it. They're sick of the Sami Zayn thing. People like Sami Zayn. I like Sami Zayn too. I like him as a babyface more than I do as a heel, unless he's with the bloodline. Well, because he's very annoying when he's a heel. But other than that, the whole I want to be world champion act is just getting so old because he never gets the job done. And Trick Williams is very, very good. I really like Trick Williams. He cuts great promos. And of course, Damian Priest. The company needs to do something with Damian Priest. I'm tired of them not using him the proper way. But again, I'm glad to see him on TV every week after he beat Aleister Black. Now he's on TV. At least he's in this Fatal 4-Way match. At least they're actually doing something, but they need to do more. We then see Randy Orton in the back watching, and Kathy Kelly asks Randy for his thoughts and why he didn't get involved. Randy says, with all due respect, what kind of question is that? Randy then says, this is the year of the Viper. Randy says that he will win the gold for the 15th time. Randy then says it does not start tonight. It starts tomorrow night, Saturday night's main event. Randy then says he will beat all three men and go to Saudi Arabia, where he will fight Drew McIntyre for the title using the three most dangerous letters in sports entertainment, RKO. This is a good backstage segment by Randy Orton, basically getting himself pumped up. I actually like Randy Orton when he cuts a promo because he could really get the crowd going and get everybody going. So I did like Randy Orton pumping the crowd up and pumping up the promo, basically getting somewhat hyped for tomorrow's Saturday night's main event in this Fatal 4-Way, which I'm actually looking forward to the matches. It's just the build is not what it is. I want to see who faced Drew McIntyre with the Royal Rumble so we continuously build the Royal Rumble. We then see Carmelo Hayes from earlier today with Ian Dragunov, and Hayes tells Ian Dragunov he was impressed with last week's match against Sammy. He then tells him the challenge is open. Ian Dragunov then says he lost last week and he was bruised from last week. He then says, do you think he is in any condition to wrestle tonight? Ian Dragunov then accepts the match. He's basically kidding around with him. The Miz says it looks like Ian Dragunov and Hayes are friends. He then says, what happened to the people who hate each other? Miz then gives advice, you don't hand out opportunities. Miz then asks Hayes what Ian Dragunov ever did for him. Hayes then says Ian Dragunov did more for him than The Miz has ever done for him. Carmelo Hayes makes his way down to the ring for the first match of the night. Ian Dragunov then follows, answering the call for the United States Championship Open Challenge after Hayes extended a direct invitation to him. Now again, this backstage promo, I told you guys once before, I'm going to tell you guys again, Ian Dragunov just doesn't do it for me. There's no character behind Ian Dragunov. He's just some astute, snobby dude who's a great wrestler. Again, I'm not talking about the person, I'm talking about the character. His character is what? It's supposed to be snobby. There's nothing there. There's nothing there for me when it comes to Ian Dragunov. He's a great wrestler, I get it, but there's no character development when it comes to him. Like, I just don't get what we're doing with Ian Dragunov. Again, he's a good wrestler, he's a good talent, but what are we doing with this character? We know what Carmelo Hayes is. He's cocky, but even though he's playing a babyface, he's him. We know he can cut a good promo, and he's a great wrestler. He cuts a good promo, fantastic promo, but we know about Carmelo Hayes more than we know about Ian Dragunov. What is Ian Dragunov besides a great wrestler and a hard-hitting, strong-style wrestler? What is it? He's hard-hitting and that's it. Again, we both get this match, and hopefully this will be the last match between the two. So we get to the Indian match. Ian Dragunov then gets Hayes on his shoulders and he hits a Death Valley driver into the turnbuckles for a near fall. Ian Dragunov then goes up to the top rope, but the Miz interferes and pushes Ian Dragunov for the turnbuckles and onto the top rope. Hayes then hits the first 48 for the win. So Carmelo Hayes basically keeps his United States Championship. After the match, the Miz begins to clap at ringside. Hayes sees the Miz at ringside. Hayes then gets angry and the Miz runs to the back. We then see clips after this of Drew McIntyre winning the Undisputed Championship, and it cuts to Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu fighting last week. Now again, for that segment that we just passed over again, Carmelo Hayes, there was a great match between them and Ian Dragunov. The Miz came out at the end, so Ian Dragunov's probably going to be mad. And then next week on SmackDown, it's probably going to be Ian Dragunov versus The Miz, which they're going to do. He's going to interfere, push him off the rope, and then he's going to be a match against Ian Dragunov, which we do not want to see that match. So again, there's going to be Ian Dragunov probably versus The Miz next week after what happened on SmackDown. Again, I don't know why we're going to get this, but it is what it is. I'm glad Carmelo Hayes is done with Ian Dragunov. Now let's get Trick Williams through Saturday night's main event, and let's get those two guys on the collision course for WrestleMania, like I've been saying on my SmackDown review for weeks. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania for the United States Championship, and build that story after the Royal Rumble, going into the Elimination Chamber, going into WrestleMania will be a great thing for the both of them. So we get Michael Cole backstage with Cody Rhodes. Cole asks Cody about losing the title. Cody says he would rather talk about regaining the title instead of losing the title. Cody then talks about winning the Royal Rumble for the third time. Cole then interrupts and asks Cody about Jacob Fatu. Cody says he respects Cole for asking that question. Jacob Fatu enters the room, and Nick Aldis tells Fatu to get out. Cody then says, it's okay, it's alright, and he asks Jacob Fatu to join him. He says, come, sit down. Fatu then says he was focused on Drew for kicking his teeth in. Fatu then says he does not care about how Cody feels. Fatu says, you had to be hero and put your hands on him. Fatu then says it had the wheels turning, and he was thinking. Cody then interrupts him and says, it didn't look like you were thinking last week. Cody then says you were acting. Cody then says he will tell Fatu what no one will say to him. This is where it kind of gets personal. Cody then says you acted out instead of thinking. Cody then says that is what got you thrown in jail. Which I know that they're hitting at the real life of Jacob Fatu and being in jail at 16, at 18, and doing everything else in his personal life that they're bringing to the screen. Fatu then says those are things everyone knows. Fatu says he almost got fired before he got hired. Fatu then says he fixed those choices and made him a better man for obviously fixing those choices. Fatu then says it got him standing here right now. Cody then says he is not the champion and that this match should have been for the title. Fatu then says there doesn't have to be a title match. He then says Drew was already out the door before he got involved. Cody then says Fatu has never been champion. Fatu then says they don't make them like him anymore. He then says, do you think he's a loose cannon or out of control? Fatu then says he is very in control and he tells Cody to think about that. Fatu then walks away and we cut to Cole and Barrett. Cole then mentions that Aldis told Rhodes and Fatu to leave the arena. Now, this was a good back and forth backstage. Me reading it back and forth doesn't do it justice enough. I'm just trying to give you guys the synopsis of it. But Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes are absolutely good together. The promo that they had sitting down again was a little bit personal with Cody Rhodes, but this is a good promo between these guys. My problem is Nick Aldis telling the two main event guys that are probably going to main event Saturday's main event. If it comes to that, why would you have them leave the arena? Why would you do that? Why would you have the two guys who are basically going to start your show or basically main event the show, which is probably be started because Cody Rhodes is the franchise guy, so he's probably going to start the show and they'll probably have the Fatal 4-Way main event the show because if Sami Zayn wins, that'll probably be a feel-good thing, but we'll get to that later on. But again, why would you have your guys, the two basically top stars on the promotion, on the brand rather, because you have him, Fatu, and Drew McIntyre, so the top three guys on the roster, why would you have these guys leave the building? Now, here's my example. That's like saying, I'm not saying these guys are Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, or anybody. But that's like, yeah, Stone Cold's in the building, and him and The Rock going back and forth, and we're just going to tell The Rock and Stone Cold, hey, leave the building because we don't want to mess up a WrestleMania match. Or we don't want you guys beating up each other or fighting each other. So we're just going to tell you, hey, leave the building. That's lazy booking. That's lazy creative. You can't come up with nothing else besides these guys to leave the building? So we don't see these guys for the rest of the night. What are we doing? Who wrote this? Again, I come on here and criticize. I don't make it to me seem personal to people. I come on here because I genuinely love wrestling. I don't curse nobody out. I don't do any of that stuff. I just come on here and give you guys my opinions about wrestling because I want it to be better for the future generations that are going to watch this. I want my kids one day, if I ever have kids, to sit up here and say, man, I see why you watch wrestling. Wrestling is great. And we keep going down the road with wrestling just getting more awful and awful when it comes to storylines. That's what hooked us as a kid. Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, everybody. Even way before that, Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, all these guys who was a pivotal part in your childhood growing up so that you keep the tradition going. So for generations that wrestling will be the best. And so far, whoever is writing this wrestling, it's not good. Why would you have your 2 out of 3 main event guys leave the building? What sense does that make for them to leave the building? It makes absolutely no sense at all. No sense to have your top guys leave the building and not appear on the show again. Now, Cody Rhodes, spoiler alert, did reappear at the end. But this makes no sense. I understand they had to sit down, but you have, I don't know, Cody do something else. Be backstage. Have Jacob Fatu come out, and he's so angry that Cody Rhodes brought up something personal that he interferes in the match and he starts killing everybody. Starts destroying everybody. He's on a warpath all night. Do you guys remember? Take it back down memory lane. Do you guys remember when The Undertaker and Kane finally came together? And Paul Bearer was out of the picture just for a little bit. And every single match that happened on that Monday Night Raw, they had Kane and The Undertaker go to the ring and tombstone every single body that entire night. They interrupted every single match. And Undertaker and the Kane tombstoned everybody, chokeslammed and tombstoned everybody. I think the Godfather, I think it was him, he tried to get out the ring, and Undertaker basically grabbed him and they basically chokeslammed him. And this at the time when the Undertaker was going to the top rope and Kane was doing a spike, he was doing a spike tombstone. Have Jacob Fatu interrupt every single match and make it intriguing, and he's on a warpath and he just does not care until he gets his hands on Cody Rhodes. What are we doing? You see how easy that was to just reminisce and go back and say, hey man, wait a second. Undertaker and Kane did this. Why not have Jacob Fatu do this? He's a monster. He's supposed to destroy everybody. Have Jacob Fatu go out there and interrupt every single match. Listen, Ian Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes was a great match. You know what you did? Have Jacob Fatu beat up everybody, then do the backstage segment, or leave that match alone, beat up everybody, then go do the promo. I just don't get it. You don't tell your guys to actually leave the building. You just don't do that. You don't do it. It's lazy booking and lazy creative. Next up, we get Chelsea Green backstage with Alba Fire. They're walking backstage. Jordan Grace just sitting there. Chelsea Green says that she was meaning to talk to Jordan Grace and that she wants her to join her group and that she needs a platform. Green then offers her a place in the group. She then says Jordan can start next week at the Royal Rumble. She then says maybe she can start tonight and be there for her match against Jade Cargill. Grace then says she will be there for Chelsea Green, basically be out there in her corner, which again for me, why? Just why are we having Chelsea Green lose, which we already know. Jade Cargill's not losing. We already, that's a little spoiler, but we all know that she's just not losing. So why would we have Chelsea Green continuously keep getting beaten up? I don't understand this. She's a great, even though they can say, oh, well, she's a great hand. No, she's great. She's phenomenal, especially when it comes to talking, even though I am sick and tired of Secret Harvest, I'm not going to lie. But Chelsea Green's amazing, and the fact that they just keep jobbing her out is just so ridiculous. It really is ridiculous how they're treating her on the roster. Now, she doesn't have minded, and by the way, on Unreal, WWE Unreal on Netflix Season 2, Michael Hayes said something that kind of took me aback. Oh, she's a great hand, and she's this and that, but she's not on the level of Charlotte Flair. Well, why can't she be there? She does great promo for the company. She's a great personality for the company. Oh, well, she's not there in ring-wise. So what? She can get better and continue to wrestle no matter what. There are certain guys who've been on the top of this company that their wrestling skills were just horrible, and they were still on the top of this company, WCW, or any company. That was kind of a little bit ridiculous to me that Michael P.S. Hayes would say something like that. And no more matches with Jade Cargill and Chelsea Green. Enough. We then get a video package announcing that Roman Reigns will be there for the Royal Rumble. Acknowledge him. The OTC Roman Reigns returns for the Royal Rumble. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I heard his music, I was like, okay, Roman Reigns, they're doing the thing for Roman Reigns. Then it says Roman Reigns, Riyadh Reigns. I'm like, what? I'm looking at the promo for him, and I'm like, Roman Reigns declares for Roman. I'm like, man, we couldn't get via satellite what the Rockies do. We can't get nothing he declares. Man, he didn't say nothing publicly. He could have said something on Twitter. Hey, tweet out you guys, hey, man, I'm coming for the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to declare. No, we get nothing. What are we doing? Who? Again, why? He can't show his face. This is getting annoying now. Listen, I know Roman Reigns has earned it. He's a top guy during the pandemic and everything that was going on, but man, we can't get a vignette. I mean, a better vignette than this. Roman Reigns declares for the Royal Rumble. It was just words on the screen, then this picture. Oh, the OTC is declaring for the... I'm like, man, what are we doing? What the hell are we doing? Do you guys remember when Roman Reigns did that promo when he was at the docks in front of the water with Paul Heyman, and he challenged Solo Sikoa to the Netflix show on the Netflix deal, January 6, 2025? Do you guys remember that? Why didn't they have Roman Reigns go to the water again and basically declare his intentions for the Royal Rumble and make it hype? Hype us up, or don't do this at all and have him just come out as a surprise, which we know he's going to be there anyway. But come as a surprise or have him cut a promo. He can't take 20 minutes out of his day to go to the docks again and do the same thing. What are we doing? These people are not thinking creatively. Can we get more than words on the screen and he declares for a Rumble? Can he say it? Can we get Roman Reigns to speak? People are going to say, oh, you're just nitpicking. No, I'm not. Anyway, Chelsea Green and Alba Fyre make their way down to the ring for the match. Jade Cargill then follows up. Jordan Grace makes her way out to the ringside to watch the match. This was basically a squash match. Jay hits Jaded for the win, basically, and during the match, Jordan Cargill was basically face-to-face with Jordan Grace the entire time. Again, I want these guys to face off, but man, they are not making this exciting for me. And I told you guys, I really want this. I wanted this for WrestleMania. If they're going to do anything with Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace, do this at WrestleMania if Bianca Belair is not going to come back yet. Again, Jade Cargill hits Jaded for the win. It was really nothing to this match. This match was boring. I told you guys I really like Jade Cargill. I keep repeating it. I'm not trying to be biased towards wrestler, but I do like Jade Cargill on her look. Can she get better? Yes, everybody has a room to improve, but I do like her a lot. Now, after the match, Jordan Grace asks, what is the point of all this? She then says, you are having this match so you don't have to defend the title. Again, which she's right. You're having this match, you don't have to defend the title, which is not on Jade Cargill. It is on the company. Why are you booking this match again instead of having Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace face-to-face and declare that they will face each other at the Royal Rumble? Or have Jordan Grace wrestle on this show, do some squash matches, and build herself up. What is the point? We are losing focus here on what is important. That is building up Jordan Grace to go up against Jade Cargill. Grace then says she's in the Royal Rumble, which are fine. Now I just messed it up for myself because now she's in the Royal Rumble. And she will see Jade on the other side. She then says they could just do it now. Then Jade says no, basically, and she leaves the ring. Again, why not just put this to the Royal Rumble? The match card is lacking anyway. AJ Styles versus Gunther. The women's Royal Rumble and the men's Royal Rumble. Have a women's match. This will be the perfect women's match. Give them 20 minutes to wrestle or 15 minutes and showcase Jordan Grace. And if they don't want to have her lose now, I get it. Or have it be a draw. Have Jade Cargill cheat. But showcase Jade Cargill. Build her up. Again, what are we doing? So after all this and my complaining about these segments, we see Bliss in the back with Charlotte Flair. I actually like this duo, even though I don't like the fact that they're wasting, again, the women's divisions. The women's world titles on these shows are not being booked properly. I do like seeing Bliss and Charlotte Flair together. It makes Charlotte Flair seem more personable and more likable. So Charlotte Flair shows up. Flair asks Bliss if she's ready. Bliss says she can focus on other things besides the team. Charlotte then mentions that the Royal Rumble is coming up. Bliss then talks about last year's Rumble, and Flair mentions that she did win. arrogantly. Bliss then says if Flair had won at WrestleMania, none of this would have happened. Basically, she lost to Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania, and their tag team never happened. And then she said, I still won, but Alexa walked off. And after that, she says, I basically won and basically walked off. I like this iteration of Charlotte Flair. I really do. I think she's more personable. She's more likable in this role with Bliss. Again, I would have Bliss win the Women's United States Championship and do something better with it. I don't know what they're doing with Julia. We'll get to them later. But again, I would really, really love to see Alexa Bliss be the focus. If she's not going to be in the Women's World title scene, I would love for her to be the focus of the Women's United States Championship scene and do that. That would be perfect for Bliss. We then see Solo Sikoa when he says the Fireflies are here and they are in for a rude awakening. He then says it starts tonight with him and Tama Tonga. Solo then says he will win the Royal Rumble and bring the title back to the group. He then says with this lantern, there is nothing you or he can do. And he looked up. He's basically saying, talking about Bray Wyatt. The Wyatt Six make their way down to the ring for the match tonight. The MFTs then follow with Solo Sikoa sending Hikuleo, I'm not calling him Tonga, Hikuleo to the back to protect Uncle Howdy's lantern. Basically, throughout this match, Hikuleo comes out back with the lantern, and Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy grabs him, but Solo Sikoa winds up giving him a spike, and Uncle Howdy did put Hikuleo in a mandible claw. Solo then hits Simone Spike onto Uncle Howdy. Solo then grabs the lantern, and in the ring, Tama Tonga sends Loomis into the ropes. He then distracts referee, and Solo hits Loomis with that lantern. Tama Tonga then hits the cutthroat clothesline for the win. So basically, the winner of this match and the new tag team champions is Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga of the MFTs. Now again, if I'm Solo Sikoa, I'm giving that championship to Tama Tonga. Tonga Loa. I will put I'm getting so confused on these damn names. Solo Sikoa or Tama Tonga, but Tonga Loa, whatever it is, I would give him the championship and say, hey, this is for you two guys. I'm not a tag team wrestler. I won a championship, but I'm putting it on you. The same thing with Jacob Fatu won it. I would do the same thing and put it back on Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Again, those guys are good together, and have them be a tag team. Have Solo Sikoa go in the Royal Rumble and try to get WWE Championship. By the way, it's kind of getting annoying. The only thing about the MFTs that I get annoyed about, and I do like Solo, the only thing I get annoyed about is them talking about they want to bring the championship back to the family. It's never going to happen. They're never going to do it, so just stop saying it, because it's not going to happen. Same thing with Sami Zayn. Enough of saying that you want to bring the championship back to the family, because the WWE Championship is not coming to Solo Sikoa, and we all know that. Again, it's a good talking point, but again, because everybody wants the World Championship, but in this instance, Solo Sikoa ain't getting it. So put the tag team titles on the actual tag team and then go from there. And hopefully, by God, hopefully, this feud is over. Enough of the Wyatt Six. Go away. I don't know what they're going to do with them. I don't know what they're going to do. But at least this feud with the MFTs are over. Please let it be over, because I'm tired of it. We get a backstage segment with Nick Aldis on his phone. R-Truth then enters. I'm going to talk about this in a second, and really my problem with this. Truth tells Aldis that he is there to put his balls on the line for a Rumble. Enough with the ball jokes. AJ Styles then shows up and R-Truth walks away. Aldis tells AJ that he watched Raw on Monday and says AJ is putting his career on the line at the Royal Rumble. AJ then tells him he is sure he wants to do that. He then says Gunther said he retired John Cena, but it was the disrespect that he showed, which basically pissed him off. He then says he won't let Gunther decide when his time in WWE is up. Now, after that, Aldis says there's another reason that he brought AJ Styles all the way to Montreal. Now, AJ Styles said, I know you didn't bring me here to talk about that. He says, okay, fine, I didn't. Then after he says that, Shinsuke Nakamura shows up behind him. He said he asked AJ, why is he willing to lose everything? AJ says if he doesn't step up to Gunther, he already lost. Nakamura then tells him before he steps in the ring with Gunther to prove that he's still phenomenal. He then challenges AJ Styles to a match at Saturday Night's Main Event. AJ then looks at Nick Aldis and asks him if he has a place on the card, and Aldis says he does. AJ then accepts and they shake hands. Now, let me go back to my R-Truth thing just for a second. I'm tired of R-Truth being like this. Make him serious. Ron the Truth Killings, again, where did they go with that booking? He cut his hair and said, I'm the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and he walked off. And ever since then, he's been playing around. Again, I like R-Truth. There's nothing personal when I'm talking about the criticism. My criticism is, can we please do something with this dude, man? I understand he's up there in age. He's in his 50s, fine. He said he says he wants his last match to be against The Miz. If he was to leave WWE and have his last match in the company, he wants to be against The Miz, which is fine. My only problem is, can he please be serious for once? That's all I ask. Make him a bit serious before he leaves. I just don't. I don't get it, man. I understand he's a great character to have in a company, but a lot of stuff that he's done over the years has been very, very funny. But some of it has been a little bit irritating because I just want people to take him seriously. He's a great, phenomenal person, human being. According to everybody backstage, people that deal with R-Truth, they love him. I like him. He seems like a great guy. I don't know him personally, obviously not, but from what you hear, he's a great dude. Just do something with him. If it's his last run, do a little something. Just a little something. Make him a little bit more serious. That's it. That's all I ask. Go back to jokes later before he leaves, but just do something to make him serious. He cut his hair. He even said on W Unreal that I cut my hair because I'm balding. He started laughing, but man, you see a guy that talented, and to just play with him like that, it's irritating seeing that talent like that be played with in that regard. But as far as AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, to me, this match was just to get another match tonight's main event because there were only 3 matches. And not going into the SmackDown, I said to myself, what are we going to do with another match? Because there's usually 4 matches on the card. What are we going to do? And we finally got what's going to happen. They added this match again. Hopefully this match will be better than what they wrestled at WrestleMania 34, because at WrestleMania 34, when AJ Styles was WWE champion, they faced Shinsuke Nakamura and they turned him heel, that was horrible. That match was too slow, and it was horrible. Hopefully they give these guys 20 minutes. Saturday's main event is going to be 2 hours. It needs to be 2.5 hours. Give these guys the time to put on a phenomenal, no pun intended, but a phenomenal match. Give them the time. If this is going to be the last time we see AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, give them 20-25 minutes to knock this match out of the park. Give them the appropriate time that they need. Again, this match is filler for Sunday's main event, but I'm glad I want to be able to see these guys go at it one more time and give them the proper time to be able to do so. After that, we get Nathan Frazier and Axiom. They make their way down to the ring for the next match of the night, and Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae follow. This match, to me, I'm going basically to the end. Frazier basically got a roll up and wins. Axiom puts the face mask on Candice LeRae, but basically distracted Johnny Gargano. LeRae accidentally hit Johnny Gargano when the face mask was over her, and Frazier then rolls him up for the win. Again, why is Johnny Gargano on my television? Why are these 2 guys on my television? Put Faxioms and back in the tag team division. Where is the Motor City Machine Guns? Where are the Street Profits? What is going on with SmackDown in their tag team division? I don't understand what we're doing with this. This is just a waste of time, waste of space. Johnny Gargano is no longer in the tag team. Tommaso Ciampa is gone. He's not coming back. He's leaving the company. He's left. I don't understand what they're doing with Johnny Gargano, but they need to. They need to put him back in NXT or put him on Raw and give him something else new. By the way, when he comes out with new music, the crowd, I don't know what's going on with these SmackDown and Raw crowds or any other crowd. For some reason, him and Tommaso Ciampa just don't get any reaction. And I don't know what that is about. He just gets no reaction. I don't know what that is about. I don't know if they fell out of favor with Triple H. I don't know what it is. But the black and gold days in NXT are far from over. And with these, him not getting reaction, what is the point of putting him on TV? He's just an extra guy at this point. He has no personality. He has no character. They're feuding over a stupid mask, which he already has on another mask. This makes no sense. This is just lazy booking again. And I'm sorry to continue to keep dumping on SmackDown for weeks and weeks, and I want these shows to be good so we can have a better time when I'm doing these reviews. But this is just awful. Why? Why do we get this? What's the need for this? After the match, Axiom thanks Gargano for the mask, but Candice LeRae, she stole it back and ran through the crowd. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? And she retreats to their entrance ramp with Johnny Gargano. I'm glad. Get this off my television screen. Lord have mercy. After that, we head to the back. But Kathy Kelly's backstage with Nia Jax and Last Legend. Last Legend is very, very tall, and so is Nia Jax. By the way, Nia Jax looks great. She looks fantastic. I didn't know she was losing that much weight, but she looks great. So we head to the back, talk to Last Legend and Nia Jax to talk about their match. Last Legend says they have proven that they are the most dominant, destructive team in WWE. She then says it is obvious what is going to happen, rather. Nia then says they will become the number 1 contenders for the tag titles. She then says they will then go to the Rumble and eliminate everyone together. Lashley says they are a cohesive team, and they basically snap their fingers and they basically walk away. This is a good backstage promo for what it was. I didn't really care about it, but again, it's nice to see actually putting Lashley and letting them talk together and letting them know and letting their presence be known for the Royal Rumble again. It was not really to this promo, just backstage promo. It was fine. I didn't really have a problem with it, but it is what it is. After that, we see Drew McIntyre walking to the ring, which I'm glad finally he's on the show, but what took so long for him to actually be on the show and the WWE champion to arrive on the show? He's your champion. He should be on the show automatically to start tonight instead of having Sami Zayn start. Now, I understand why they had Sami Zayn start, but your WWE champion starts the show. Your champion. He's the champion. He's the face of the company. I shouldn't be at almost an hour in, or basically an hour into the show, and I'm now getting the champion on the screen. And I'm not talking about just walking through the back. the champion, the heel, the dirty heel, starts off the show. I understand you want to get the crowd pop of Sami Zayn, but at least have Drew McIntyre come out after that. It's been an hour into the show and we don't see the champion. Undisputed WWE Champion Drew McIntyre makes his way down to the ring. Drew grabs the microphone, starts off by saying bonjour to everybody in Montreal. Drew then says he has exhausted his French, so let's get down to business. Drew then says it has been a tough time. Drew then says it has been more than 30 years since the Canadians won the Stanley Cup, which basically booed them. Drew then says, now you finally have a champion you can be proud of. It's always that cheap heat that they get. Drew then asks if you saw the Jacob/Cody therapy sessions. Drew then says it was pathetic. Drew then says he didn't kick Jacob's front teeth down his throat because he would brag about it if he did. Drew then says he doesn't lie. Drew then reminds Cody Rhodes that there are no rematches in the title match after the title match. Drew then says you have to win the Royal Rumble. Drew then says you can't probably win a third time, so good luck with that. After that, Drew then mentions tomorrow's No More Contenders match. Drew then says we have Trick Williams. Drew then says go get him, kid. Basically, heel to heel, go get him, kid. Drew then says we have Damian Priest. Drew then says a one-hit wonder. He ruined a year of his career over. Drew then says he will end his career if he faces him next week. Drew then says Randy Orton. Drew then says now it is civilized Randall Keith Orton who can't get the job done. Drew then says last but certainly not least, Sami Zayn. Drew then says Sami, he knows you have a whole country behind you. Drew then says listen to him. He then tells Sami, you're always so concerned about winning the big one and disappointing your son, which he made it personal in this. Drew then says, it's okay. Drew then says, your son has been disappointed for a long time. I laughed at it. Even though it was personal, I did laugh at that. Drew then says he has been disappointed from the time he opened his eyes and realized that Sami Zayn was his father. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm laughing at this because this is good. This is him being a menacing heel. I like it. I like Drew McIntyre in this role. Drew then says he doesn't care who wins because he will do whatever it takes to keep his title. Drew then says, whoever faces him at the Royal Rumble, good luck because you're going to need it. Now, after that, I thought that was a good promo. Thought it was a great promo of Drew McIntyre. Basically, he's going through these guys one by one. Trick Williams, go get him, kid. Damian Priest, you're wasting my time. Randy Orton, you're civilized now, and you're not going to get the job done. And Sami Zayn, your son is basically disappointing you because you don't get anything done. Thought that was great. He did a rundown of the entire gauntlet of the matches going to be happening tomorrow. So this was great. This was fantastic. It was great for him to do this. Great for him to be in that ring and basically cut everybody down. We then see Rey Fenix go up to Trick Williams. Trick Williams tells Rey, you are welcome for making you famous, because they had a match a couple weeks ago. Trick then says, after he beats Damian tonight and wins a Fatal 4-Way match, he will become the champion and you can have a title match. Rey then says, Trick will remember him. Now, again, I'm asking myself this question. Rey Fenix, what are we doing, Rey Fenix? We need the Lucha Brothers to reunite for WrestleMania. Have them face the MFTs. I don't care. Do something. Penta is a huge star. Paul Heyman said it on WWE's Unreal. He's a huge star. What are we doing with this group? What are we doing, Rey Fenix? He needs to be with Penta again and put them on SmackDown. They're not doing anything with Penta. Every week I do this. And every week it's more and more frustrating. Rey Fenix is backstage doing nothing. I get it. Andrade left and went back to AEW. Okay, fine. But there is money to be made with this tag team. Triple H must not have saw these matches between him, the Lucha Brothers, and the Young Bucks. If he saw that match, he would see this is $1 million tag team. You know how much money they would sell at merchandise? Penta alone, then Rey Fenix, and then you put them together and sell merchandise together? You know how much money you would make? It's not about the money, it's about them actually being a tag team. But you guys are all about money. You know how much money you can make with these guys? This is ridiculous that they don't put them in a tag team. What are we doing? Where are the Street Profits? Where's the Motor City Machine Guns? We are just doing nothing. We're just being lazy. We are being lazy. 3 hours of shows and you have people missing. Just laziness. Strictly laziness on the booking committee on SmackDown. After that, we see what happened to Kit Wilson last week. We get Kathy Kelly with Kit in the back. She asks about Matt Cardona. Kit says someone has to clean up the toxic masculinity. I'm getting sick of this dude. In the locker room, Kit Wilson says there are people who do not question themselves. Matt Cardona then shows up and he asks him what is wrong with him. Kit then describes Matt, and Matt says it sounds like he is complimenting him. Kit then says men like you don't have consequences and that you have a toxic masculinity. Again, I don't know what we're doing with this. Matt then tells him to settle in the ring if you have a problem in the future. He then walks away and Kit says that he is toxic. What are we doing, Kit Wilson? Put him back down at NXT. What are we doing? What are we doing with this guy? Nothing. He got a nice pop last week and Jacob Fatu came out and destroyed him. Again, what is it this thing with toxic masculinity? I don't understand what it is. What are we doing? What are we doing? You guys gonna complain and say, well, Brandon, you're saying create new stars. Yes, I am saying create new stars, but what are we doing with these guys? What are we doing? We're not doing anything with Kit Wilson besides coming out saying toxic masculinity and he's losing. A waste of space on television. Not personal, it's business. Again, who cares about Kit Wilson and Matt Cardona? No disrespect to Matt Cardona, he's great. He's great. Why are we having a feud with Kit Wilson? So next up, we get the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders match with Charlotte Flair and Bliss versus the Bougie Bully Lash Legend and Nia Jax versus the WWE Women's United States Champion, the Beautiful Madness, Julia and Kiana James. Basically, we get to the end of the match. Alexa sets up for the sister Abigail, but Lash hits a boot and she gets a near fall. Nia then pops up and headbutts Julia, and Kiana James tags in. She hits the 401k, but Lash punches Kiana James. Lash then blocks a tornado DDT, and Lash sets up for the last extension and hits it. But Flair hits Lash Legend with the spear, and Kiana James comes in there. She steals the pin, and she wins this match 1-2-3. The winners of the match is basically Kiana James Julia. Again, I keep asking you guys, what is the point of Kiana James Julia being together, and what is the point of them? I get so mad and angry. And not angry because I'm just want to yell and scream and just get loud. I get angry because what is this? She's the Women's United States Championship, and because this company is so lazy that they can't book this right, and they cannot book this championship, the actual championship in itself, that you're going to have Kiana James, who's supposed to be managing Julia, and now that she's managing this girl, she's managing her, and then now every time she needs a tag team partner, they team together, then they have her win this match. What was the point? What is the point of them being together? It makes no sense. Kiana James needs to be in NXT. It's no disrespect to the person, again, it's the character. Who cares about Kiana James and Julia? I care about Julia, but I don't care about Kiana James. This just makes no sense, man. People say you complain about anything, but man, I complain about the booking of these people. Why do you have them winning the #1 contendership? Why? Julia should be on her own defending the Women's United States Championship. What is the point of having them in a tag team? You're having them in a tag team. Why did I say this before, guys? Follow the pattern. All of these top women on these tag team divisions because they don't know how to book these guys and they don't know what they're doing. So now they put the Women's United States Champion in a tag team with somebody who should not be in a tag team with. Now that they don't, because they did that, now they don't have to book the Women's United States Championship by itself. You get the laziness that's being put together here. I'm glad you followed along for my little TED talk and rant in that moment. This is just pure laziness. Putting them in a tag team and giving them the #1 contendership is quote unquote lazy. It's just laziness. After that, we see Sami Zayn walking in the back and he tells Damian Priest he's a bit frustrated and he has no problem with Priest. He then says he has a problem with Trick Williams. He then says if he does anything he doesn't like, Priest then tells Sami to not get involved in his match. He then tells him to stay out of it. Sami then asks, or what? I had a problem with this entire promo too with Sami Zayn. But Sami Zayn says, or what? And Priest says Sami Zayn knows. Sami then says Priest does not tell him to basically do anything. Basically doesn't tell him what to do. Sami then tells Priest he will see him when he sees him. He then says he has something else to deal with, right? But let me stop for a second before we get to what Sami Zayn has to deal with. This promo, Damian Priest is clearly telling Sami Zayn, hey man, stay out of it. And then he says, or what? You mean to tell me that you're... This doesn't make any sense to me. This guy's telling you to stay out of my match. Stay out of it. Let me face Trick one-on-one. Just stay out of it. Now he gets his face, he's trying to be intimidating. He says, or what? Does Sami Zayn have to be booked like this for the whole entire time? Or what? You're really getting mad because somebody told you to stay out of his match? Like, what are we doing with... I'm done. I'm just going to move on. Sami then walks up to Drew McIntyre. They come face to face. Sami Zayn then slaps Drew McIntyre from what he said earlier that he walks away. I had a problem with this too, because you slapped him in backstage and then did nothing after that. Spoiler alert, nothing. Nothing happened after this. You basically smacked him. And then as soon as he smacked him, my thoughts in my mind, you know what I said to myself, everybody? I said, I hope Drew McIntyre goes out there and costs Sami Zayn the match after he smacked him. Because there's no way you put your WWE champion in that position to be smacked by somebody like that. He smacked him clear in the face and after that walked off. And Drew McIntyre did nothing for the rest of the night. What are we doing? I hope Drew McIntyre comes out and costs Sami Zayn the Fatal 4-Way match in Montreal. And no, Sami Zayn should not win. No, he should not. We then see Cody Rhodes stop AJ Styles and says he is not going to question the decision to put everything on the line against Gunther. Cody then says he wanted to wish him luck. We then see Drew put an autographed photo on Cody Rhodes' bust. So after they get done talking in the promo, Cody Rhodes goes to his bus, he stops and he looks, and then there's a picture autographed by Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes basically gets on his bus and he leaves. So it basically took Cody Rhodes that long. It took him the entire night to get to his bus. I'm being nitpicky right there, but I noticed that. I'm like, wait, Cody Rhodes is now getting on his bus after he was told to leave the building? Like, this is a live shot. It's not a pre-taped shot like they had with Carmelo Hayes and Dragunov. This was a live shot. It took Cody Rhodes this entire time to get out of the building after they said on commentary that he left the building. That makes no sense. You see the holes that you can pick out of this? When it makes no sense? If you say he leaves, then show him leaving. You have him leave damn near almost 2 hours later when you guys said they already left the building. And he's out there going to leave by the time the show's almost over, because after this, it was basically one more match. What? I just don't understand the booking of this. Anyway, we then see Kathy Kelly and Julia with Kiana James. She then asks them how do they feel about being number one contenders. Julia speaks in Japanese. Kiana then says Julia is already United States champion and Julia is going to win the Royal Rumble so she could be a triple champion. No, she's not. We move on to the next segment. We get a nice video package about Obafemi again. Obafemi needs to be on Raw, not on SmackDown, because Trick Williams is there. And we already have another big guys on SmackDown. You could say Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. Put Obafemi on Raw. Damian Priest makes his way down to the ring for the main event of the show. We get to the end of the match where basically Trick Williams takes Damian Priest and throws him into Sami Zayn. After that, Trick Williams throws Damian Priest back into the ring. Damian Priest gets thrown back into the ring. Trick Williams comes to the ring and starts beating him up. After that, Sami Zayn comes into the ring and starts beating up Trick Williams. Hits him with a forearm. The referee calls for the bell. This match was a decent match back and forth, but it ended in disqualification. The winner of the match due to disqualification was Trick Williams. After the match, Sami Zayn punches and kicks Trick in the corner. Priest then pushes Sami Zayn. Sami punches Priest. Sami then hits a kick to Trick Williams, and Priest hits a thrust kick to Sami Zayn. The crowd starts booing Damian Priest. Trick then hits a jumping knee to Damian Priest. After that, Trick Williams' music just comes back on. He's in the ring basically doing his moves. He's basically getting to the song out in his head, whatever. He's standing there gloating in front of the camera. After that, Randy Orton pops up behind him. He's singing Whoop That Trick. He's bouncing his head, making fun of him. He then taps him on the shoulder, turns around and hits him with an RKO. Sami Zayn and Randy Orton then have some words, and Randy hits Sami Zayn with an RKO. Randy does his signature pose as the show comes to a close. So again, that was SmackDown for tonight. Again, this show really did nothing for me. This show was really a nothing show. It was a boring show, and I just have no idea what we're going to do with the Royal Rumble. It just seems like it's going to be a boring Royal Rumble. There's no anticipation, there's no build-up, there's no anything when it comes to this show. I don't know what we're doing. The creative has been stagnant on Raw, it's been stagnant on SmackDown. Hopefully these shows are going to be great coming up, man. You just have so much hope for a dead product. This product is horrible, and it's dead. It's a horrible product. It is. Creative is horrible. But let me know your thoughts about SmackDown in the comment section down below. Let me know how you guys felt about the show. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more good content, share with your friends and family, share the channel so we continue to grow. Until next time, guys, see you real soon.